Hello. Hello everyone. This is Miss Sakina again from Wisdom and Knowledge House Academy. Today we are going to talk about, before we start with the topic, or before I tell you guys what are we going to talk about, let me just ask you and ask everybody, how is everything going? Hope everything is going super well and you're doing good in Ramadan. Well, the weather was perfect yesterday. If you've just seen, lots of rain, and it was raining cats and dogs. Do you know this idiom? It was raining cats and dogs. Well, cats and dogs, it means like it was raining heavily. This is one of the idiom. You can use it like in your daily, let's say, in daily routine. So today's topic is going to be about how to start a healthy conversation. When you want to have a healthy conversation with people around you, your partners, colleagues, and everyone, so you need to start with a healthy conversation. Like you need to start with a good, with a good point. Not just it's not right to come up with your partner and start straight away or straightforward with to the point. It's not nice. You have to you have to speak a little bit about yourself, about the you have to prepare something that you come to the main point. Okay, so this is how we are going to talk about like different so today's topic is going to be about like how to talk about the current situation. I mean, not the current situations, like healthy conversation. So you always start with the current situation, okay? And then today we'll talk about job and work as well, like a few questions about job and a few questions about work and stuff like that. Then we're gonna jump on to another topic, which is news. I have too many topics today. We're gonna talk about like just general talks. Yeah. Okay. Hi Adnan, hi Abu Tarad, right? Yeah. Okay, hope you guys are doing super well. And I'm sure you've been missed me, right? It's been long, we haven't done any classes, any sessions yet. So yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, so the best way to start a conversation is to talk about the current situation. You need to talk about the current situation. Don't come up with the main point straight away. Okay, always ask questions. Okay, like for example, like how we say, for example, how are you, what are you doing, how is the situation, or how are you doing, let's say. And then we ask about where on where you are, for example, like these questions. These are the questions we usually we start with. Okay, so hopefully everyone is good. So today's topic is how to start with a healthy conversation. For example, I'm going to give you different scenarios. Like for example, you want to talk about, let's say, any topic. You want to ask about anything, for example. So you don't come to the point like straight away. You always start with some questions which is related to, I mean, you bring up this topic slowly. Okay, so this is how we basically start a healthy conversation. For example, if I want to talk about job, I want to like start a conversation, or I want to have a let's say I want to have a very healthy conversation about job, let's say. So what we do basically, I'm gonna ask you a few different questions. Okay, and these questions, like for example, what do you do, right? I'm not gonna ask you, for example, how much is your salary straight away. Of course not. I mean, there are some reasonable questions we need to ask, and there are like some questions you should avoid. You shouldn't ask straight away. So for example, what do you do? What do you do? It means, what do you work, right? You can say what do you do, or you can say what is your job, what do you work, or what do you do. These three questions are basically has the same meaning. You can use like any of these. Okay, right. So what do you do? For me, I am a teacher. Yes, this is my job. Okay. How long, let's say, have you been working there? Have you been working as a teacher? How long have you been in this field, for example? How long have you been in this field? I would say, for example, I would say I've been in like I've been teaching for, let's say, 8 years. Is that correct? Yes. If you want to be more specify, you should say instead of for, we use since, right? For example, if I want to specify, or I want to be more accurate, and I want to mention the year, let's say, then I would say since, right? Since 2019, for example, I've been working as a teacher for since, let's say, 2019, since, let's say, I've been in Jordan. I have been in Jordan, let's say, since I was born, or for like 20 or 30 years old. 30 years, yes. Okay, that's it. Next question, let's say, or you know why I'm bringing, why I made them as a question. So this is how we're gonna ask the question, and what is the answer. Okay, so we're gonna do the question and we're gonna do answers, like what do you expect, what should be the answer basically. um then do you like it? Usually people ask, yes, we like lots of in too many you know most of the questions, or let's say one of the very let's say interesting questions people ask you, do you like your job? I would say yes. Teaching is my passion, honestly speaking. Like, I really love teaching, especially if it's like grammar, even if it's conversation, I really like it. So yes, you should love your job, right? Or if you don't, you have to you try to like your job. Yes. So, Abu Turad saying, I'm a businessman since 2008. Oh, good luck with that, and that's a great thing. Okay. So, do you like your job, Abu Turad? Do you like your job? If you like your job, you can send us a thumbs up. You can do that. Okay, well, you can answer us later, no problem, and I'll read it for sure. Okay. How are, and yes, one of the question which is very, tempting, maybe like, or people are curious to know, what about the atmosphere in your job? Like, atmosphere means like, the environment, okay? Usually, is it friendly environment, or is it very strict environment? Or, how are basically your co-workers or colleagues, let's say. Co-workers or colleagues, they have same meaning, all right? Co-workers or colleagues, they both have same meaning, okay? Co-workers are the people who are working with you, okay, in your job, all right? So Abu Turad is saying, yes, I like my job. Great, yes. Okay, good to hear that. We can, respond in return that, yes. Okay. So yeah, the question was, do you like your job? So most of people, they do. Some of, like, they just do. I mean, they work only to get the salary and that's it. But I would say you should love what you do, basically. So this is my beliefs. Okay. Uh, so yeah, as we said, co-workers is the same as colleagues. Like, there's a different meaning of it, or let's say a different word which carries the same meaning. Co-workers or colleagues. Again, co-workers and colleagues. If you want me to give you the spelling, I can do so, but up to you. Like, co-workers, COWORKERS, and for, okay, hello, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Mahmoud. Okay. Abu Turad saying, I have many colleagues. Yeah, good. Yes, in like, basically it depends on where you're working at. So yeah, I have also good colleagues, and the teachers in the academy, they're wonderful. And yes, the students are perfect as well. Okay. So this is one of the questions we like to, ask when you are in. Yeah, Said is doing good job. Thank you, Said, for the for the spelling and stuff. Thank you. So if you want to get the meanings of coworkers and colleagues, same. They carry the same meanings. Okay. What is the best or the worst thing in your job? Like, sometimes, what is challenging basically in your job? for me, like if I answer myself, or I would like you guys also to share this, if that is possible. Um, like for me, what is the best thing is the teachers and the colleagues. I mean, my colleagues are very good. In I never felt that I am in a different or weird or like in a in I'm in very comfortable, let's say comfortable uncomfortable, let's say, environment. um, but what is challenging sometimes when you receive, or let's say when you have different categories of students in one class, so it's sometimes challenging to teach them or to go on, like, because obviously they carry different levels, so you need to make sure that everyone understands you. So this is one of the things which is very challenging for me in my job. So I'm sure, guys, like every person goes with different challenges, so I would like you guys to tell me about your different challenges. If like, you can write it and then I'll read it later on. So yeah, this is maybe, I mean, this is the best thing is my colleagues, and the worst thing is, let's say, wait, there's nothing is like there's nothing worse in my job, but sometimes, yeah, it is tiring. Maybe this could be one of the thing. Yeah, teachers always get tired. I don't know. Okay, where are you, teacher? Bassem is asking me where am I. I am in my house. Okay, all right. I'm in Jordan. This is maybe the question. Makes sense. Yeah, I'm in Jordan, Amman. Right. This is the question. You're like, this is what you mean, right? Okay. Hopefully. Um, Maybe the teaching is most challenging job. Actually, it is. It's a responsibility, because you are teaching, or you are basically conveying a message, or not conveying a message, conveying information to generations different, because obviously when you give this information to kids, or let's say to students, then they will, give it later on to others. So this is something very I mean, it's a responsible job. Like, you need to be very sure, and you need to be very 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 let's say what, you need to be very careful, careful with every information you're giving. Yes, in my job, change like people do not pay directly. Sorry, but I'm not getting this. In my job, change like people, I mean, they keep on changing. This is what you're trying to say. Oh yes, I maybe I've done that. I'm not sure. Hi, Bassam. Maybe I'm not sure, like, where I have taught you before. I'm not sure, like, I have to see you to recognize you. I'm not really good at remembering names, but probably, yes, I've taught in Helen Academy. That's right. Okay. I'm working in Wisdom and Knowledge House Academy. That's in Kalda. You can, I mean, if you're a member in this group, then I mean, you can get the information from there. No problem. Said is saying that, and you are dealing with so many ways of thinking and so many human. Exactly. That's like something very challenging. That's right. Um, Indeed, you're so right, Said. But I want you to tell me about yourself, guys. Like, what is challenging in your jobs? Like, what is the best thing and the worst thing about your job? You can write these, like, you can tell me about the, I mean, you can write the comments and then I'll read them soon. Okay. Now this is all about, like, maybe job and work. Like, these are the questions usually people ask in first meeting, let's say. And yeah, I want to tell you about few more words, let's say words related to job, let's say qualifications, career, appointment, positions, rank. These all are basically, words. Colleagues, co-workers. These are the words. Maybe you can use them later on, like, or they're useful words for, you know, related to job. Okay, next topic. Let's talk about news. Uh, well, maybe it's not really interesting topic, but I have like few questions regarding this. Just like a general. Let's just do the general thing about news. So, what do you think about current news stories? Like, most of the current news stories are related to coronavirus, right? Like the COVID-19, right? So it's either you can say coronavirus or COVID-19. Okay, COVID-19. So this is like, this is what they're calling it nowadays. So yeah, so these are basically, this is the question. So what do you think about the current news stories? For me, all stories are basically related to coronavirus, right? And I would say like I hope we get over this, virus sometime very soon. We get rid of it, so life gets back into normal. And so for me, what I follow, like I follow lots of news challenges, news channels. I'm sorry. So why? Because it's good to follow up with the different, because I belong from Pakistan, so I have to, like, I watch Pakistani news, then I watch sometimes the Jordanian, well, not, I never watch any Jordanian news channels, but what I do is like following with different, you know I think they're, let's say, online news channels. It's like I don't know, there's Ru'ya maybe, and there's Mamlaka. These two, I just read the headlines and that's it. So yeah, it's good to just keep updated with these news and stuff. um what kind of news okay, what kind of news does take your attention mostly? Like for me, what kind of news takes my attention is, let's say, okay, okay, I'll be like super like honest and frank to you guys. Like maybe the economic things, like how is the country's economy is going, so this is one of the things which really attracts me, or like I have to be, very conscious or accused, like how is the economy of the country currently. So these are the things which maybe, I only follow up. That's it. So I hope you guys are also watching different news channels and news. Keep update. Like I'm sure like you are keep update with newses and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, then you can also write in the comment, and I'm gonna read it. No problem. Okay. So this was about the news generally. Like these are the questions. What do you think about current stories? Like, well, I believe in some countries, some news, basically, like I believe, like in media, I believe that media sometimes exaggerate the news, right? If it's like a very small, if it's like a very tiny news, they'll make it super huge, and they'll make up stories and stuff. But I mean, maybe it's nothing, and they make it over, let's say. So this is something, we need to like really, like, as a media, they have to stop it seriously, and we should not believe everything what is happening in the world, honestly speaking. So yeah, so these are basically the questions you should follow up with. So again, if you want me to repeat the questions, and if what are the news channels you what are the channels in Jordan, basically, uh, news channels in Jordan? I think there is, as I've said, like I think there is Mamlaka, because I've seen that I've seen Ru'ya as well, but I don't know about any other, honestly. If there is any, then you can just tell me, or you can write the name, and I'll just go through it. Yeah. Okay, next. So the next topic is going to be about free time. What do you basically, or let's say, what do you do in your free time or in your spare time? We can say free time or spare time. It has the same meaning. Okay, if somebody asks you, what do you do in your free time, or what do you do in your spare time? So we usually, okay, so we usually go over like uh, the activities we do in our free time or spare time. Okay, so spare time, free time has the same meaning. Okay, it's not different at all. Okay, if somebody asks you what do you do in your free time, if somebody asks you what do you do in your spare time, it has the same meaning. So in my free time or spare time, honestly, I like to sleep, because I believe that it's the only time where people can sleep, I guess. Or yeah, spare time, what else? Like you just go on with your hobbies, I guess, like something you're really interested to do. um, for example, for me, in my spare time, I like to read something, novels maybe, or I like to sometimes also cook. um, it's not like essential for me to cook, but I like to cook in my spare time, honestly speaking. What else? I think this is it. And if you guys have anything that you would like to share, what you do in your free time or spare time, you can just mention it in comments and I'll read it. Okay, so this is one of the things. And another question, let's say, for the free time is like, how much free time do you have? Yes, this is one of the question which is like, we should also, we people ask basically. For me, I don't have any, I have free time, uh, but nowadays, because we are in a family, so we're just like we are like in a family, so every time we do have spare time, obviously, like after doing the house chores and stuff like that, so we do have spare time. But what we do in spare time, we just sit with like we all sit and watch TV, watch drama serial, let's say, or you know watch a movie, or let's say we do like different things, so, and especially because it's Ramadan, so we have to get some spare time to read at least Holy Quran or whatsoever. Yeah. Okay. And again, if you have anything to share or to write, I mean, what how like what do you do basically in your free time? Let's say you can mention it in the comment, and I'm gonna read it. Okay. Uh, what do you wish you had more time for? Okay. Yes. For example, for me, what do I wish to Okay, I wish if I had more time for my family, honestly speaking, because although like now in this quarantine, thank God that we're maybe it's from, like, I would say that it's from God, that He has created this situation so we can sit home and we can like spend more time with family. So maybe this is one of the thing I would be very very thankful for, honestly. And yes, we're giving, for me it's like, but before, or let's say before this coronavirus, yes, our routine, or let's say my routine, was very tough, or that I couldn't spend much time. I used to only spend time on weekends. So this is one of the things like I really wish to had, or to yeah, to had time for. Okay, now let's move into the next topic. And so yeah, so we have just covered like few topics again. How to have a how to start with a healthy conversation. We usually start with the current situations, and I've told you like how to ask. Um, what are the questions you should ask in the current situations, to start up with a good topic. So the first topic was jobs and work, and we have just you know um, we have like had some questions, and then we've answered them, like the expected answers, let's say. And then we talked about news and news channels, and like I've told you like earlier, that I'm gonna just talk about them like in general. I'm not gonna go so deep with conversations. Yeah. And then we talked about the free time, obviously, and now we're going to talk about food. So food, I think this is the most interesting topic. Yeah. Food is something very essential. There is a say that we eat to live, or we live to eat. Again, I'm gonna mention this again. Let's say I live to eat, or I eat to live. I want you to tell me the difference between these two sentences. Like, what kind of person you are. Are you a person who is living to eat? I mean, you live to eat, or you eat to live? What kind of person you are? So I really want you to mention that in the comments as well, so I can also read it and get an idea. For me, I'm not a really foodie person, to be very honest. I'm not a foodie person. What is a foodie person? Like, I'm not into food much. But yeah, of course, everybody likes to eat, but not as in like, oh, I'm too much in food or stuff. Like, no. I always avoid junk food. I don't like junk food. I guess there are maybe few things maybe I like it. For example, Popeyes. Yes, I really like it. Let's say McDonald's, I'm not into burgers at all, so I don't eat burgers. Yeah. Um, yeah, French fries is fine for me, and like I'm not that much junky person. No, not at all. So yeah, I like more traditional food. I like I'm more into home food basically. Food we actually cook and eat, and it's healthier, obviously. Yes. So this is one kind like this is basically my kind of food, let's say, or this is what I like. And if you would like to tell me about your food, what kind of food do you guys like, you can obviously mention it in the comment and I'm gonna read it. Um, so yeah, okay. So I'm gonna again tell you guys like I live to eat. I don't live to eat. I eat to live. That's me basically. So I just want to survive and that's it. So this is only about me. Okay, so what is your favorite food? Usually people ask you what's your favorite food, right? Like, is it um, let's say is it what is your favorite food? It could be anything like a dish, and what is a dish basically? A dish or a course, right? We can say a dish or a course. Yeah. Okay. We have also what is your favorite let's say restaurant? What is your favorite or what is the most favorite thing you like to cook, for example? For me, I like to cook pasta, or maybe biryani, Pakistani biryani. It's really delicious. Seasonal food, like we always also have like seasonal food. So for me, seasonal food, I think could be anything. Yeah. What is a seasonal food? If you have an idea, guys, like you can comment and tell me what is it. Okay. All right. So these are the questions basically we ask related to food. And do you like cooking generally? For me, I don't like cooking, but when I have to. I mean, when I'm in a situation that that there's no one to cook, I have to cook in that sense. So yeah. Sometimes yes, you have to. Like I do have to. Okay. What else? Um, I have just tried like recently. I've tried cooking different different things because I have to give a part in I have to help in the kitchen, and as long as it's Ramadan and stuff, so I have made different things. So I've tried to make something Arabic, and that was do you know the what is it makluba, I guess. So I have made that thing. I really liked it, honestly. Like it was fine, it was okay. I mean, it was not that perfect, but yeah, it was not as like how you guys make it, but yeah, it was eatable at least. So I have done a good job in there. Okay, next question is going to be, how do you usually find good restaurant? How can we find a good restaurant? Like, you need to try more than one place, let's say. You need to take the risk, right? And try different restaurants, and sometimes you need to ask for good, and let's say search in Google sometimes. Yeah. What else? You can ask people around you what are the best restaurants, let's say, that they can refer you to, and stuff like that. And what weird food have you ever tried? Have you ever tried any kind of weird food? If you've done, then you can write in the comments. So definitely I'm gonna read it or whatsoever. Okay. Yeah. So these are the questions we can like ask when there is a topic of food, and this is how we start, or this is how we come up with a conversation. When you do a conversation, I believe that there should be an eye contact. If you're doing it like to one person, or even if it's with more than one person, to attract them, to make them listen to your questions, or to make them you know uh, to make them go on with your conversation. It should be very interesting conversation, so um, they can keep following up with you. Anyhow, so yeah, what weird food have you ever tried? Well, for me, I have tried this like, for me it's kind of weird, because in my country we don't have such a thing, like or let's say that kind of concept. um do you know the I think it's Arabic food. um I've tried it once and I've never tried it again. It's called, I guess, I'm sure you guys know it. It's mulukhia, right? So I have tried it once, and to be very honest, like it was super weird for the first time, like when I had it. Maybe second time when I had it, it wasn't that, surprising, or it wasn't that awkward. But yeah, for the first time when I had it, it was like so weird. I mean, okay, you guys have this. I mean, you guys eat this. So yeah, I was a bit surprised, or let's say, but it was then later, when, or maybe it depend on who actually we, uh, you know, I don't know. We don't have such a thing in my country, so I'm not used to it. But obviously, besides that food, there are lots of good dishes like mansaf. I really love it. I adore it. There is, let's say, that upside down makluba. I don't know what you call it. Yes, this is how you call it. Yes. So yeah, I like that thing a lot. Yeah, there are lots of different courses and meals. Yeah, and yes, hummus and falafel. It's one of my favorite, and it's in where is it? It's like the best place where you can find hummus and falafel. It's like in what is that place in downtown? I completely forgot about it. No, um, hold on. I think it's Al Hashim restaurant, right? It's in downtown. Yeah. Well, I take risks sometimes. Like I don't feel awkward, or let's say I'm a person who accepts food, different kind of food, and I'm easygoing with these things. Um, okay, so we're gonna go over like this last topic, which is going to be traveling, and I love traveling. Okay, so yeah, regarding, or let's say, I'm gonna talk about, or let's say, yeah, to start up with traveling, usually we go on like the first question is like, do you have vacation? Right? This is the first question we always ask. Of course, everybody has a vacation, and where have you been in your vacation, or where are you going to travel in your next vacation? Right? So these are the questions, or this is how we start with this conversation regarding this topic. Yeah. So for me, where I've been, I have been into too many different countries, obviously, and my most favorite place I've been to was Malaysia. Why? Because people, obviously, they're really good people. I mean, fantastic people. Food is just normal food, like, they're into, it's normal. Like you can find rice and everything, all kind of foods, obviously there. So there is no any problem, and especially because it's a Muslim country, so there's no issues with the halal and haram thing. So you're always free with whatever you want to eat. What else? Weather is perfect. Weather is perfect there. The places are amazing, wonderful. So all in all, I really liked the place. I really liked the country, and I felt very comfortable in there. And also Jordan. Jordan is one of my favorite as well. Why? And obviously I'm living in it first, and second, people are so. One thing about Jordanians, which I really want to share, like in my perspective, that people in Jordan, they are not judgmental at all, and they are open-minded, and they welcome every different, any kind of foreigner. So this is the best thing about them, honestly speaking. Their hospitality, no doubt. Like whenever I was invited at my Jordanian friends, you have no idea the way they do their hospitality. I mean, how they welcome us in their houses. This is one of the things I really would like to talk about, and even when I go to my back to my country, I always tell people about it. Okay, uh, so let's come to the next topic. What did you like or dislike about the country you've been, for example? Um, the country I have been to and I didn't like about it, which is maybe Dubai. See, it's very nice country. It's amazing, no doubt, and very civilized and modern. But it's somehow like you find it's very fake. I mean, everything is artificial. Nothing is so natural in there. So this is what comes up in your mind. Like, okay, wow, it's perfect, huge buildings, big buildings, whatsoever. But what you miss there is basically the natural life. So yeah, I didn't find sort of like natural life in there. Okay, that's one of the thing. And where do you wish you could go? Well, I was planning to travel to Turkey. I've never been there before, because I've heard about Turkey a lot, and seen, I'm so much I'm so much obsessed with the Turkish series and stuff. So I sort of like the Turkish culture. So I really wanted to go to Turkey and see the lifestyle in there. Um, Food, obviously, we have some Turkish food in Jordan as well. So I've eaten a lot. So yeah, I think Turkey is like kind of interesting country to visit too. Okay, what place do I really need to see? If you have any places to suggest me later, maybe not now, because I've seen like nobody's interacting at the moment. So later on, if you would like to comment in this, if you watch the video and would like to recommend me or suggest me any good, country or place you've been according to your experience, please do share. Yeah. Okay. But I think for me, I've told you, like I would like to visit Turkey sometime very soon. What's your favorite place you've been? Yeah, I have already discussed my favorite, or I've told you about my favorite place. So also, I want you guys to even write. I mean, I have asked too many questions regarding different topics, and I want you to also share your point of views, your experiences. This is the only time where you can share your experiences, and we highly welcome your um, let's say your comments. No issues with that, obviously. So yeah, this is it about, I mean, these are the topics I really like to talk about, or I wanted to share about to share with you guys. And for the next time, or let's say, for now we have just done these topics, but next time we're going to talk about maybe job interview, more into details maybe. And hopefully, like, it's going to be a little bit earlier, not this time, because I think the time is a bit late. And yeah, maybe earlier. Yes, maybe earlier, so everybody's like, available, and everybody's there. So like most of the people are there and they're watching and stuff like that. So I hope we get the right time that everybody's there and we discuss about something very interesting. Yeah. um so yeah, what other things I would like to tell you guys, as long it's Ramadan, and quarantine as well, so most of people are staying home doing nothing, I'm sure. So to keep in connection, or let's say to keep that I'm sure nobody's is practicing, or maybe you're practicing English but not much. So if you need to keep practicing, keep watching our videos or keep watching YouTube videos, which can help you obviously in conversation. Try to learn, every day. Try to learn like from 10 to 12 words, which can help you, and not just memorize them and put them aside. No, of course not. This is not the right way of learning a language. You need to practice. You need to, if you have, for example, if you learned 10 words, try to put them in a sentence, and then try to apply them on, like when you come to speak with someone, try to say them, spell them out. Yeah, don't keep them for yourself. Don't keep them, don't it's not, a language is not about only memorizing and that's it. No, no, no. It's just you need to memorize, and then you need to use them in the right way. Okay, you need to know the part of speech of each word you actually learn. It's not just, okay, I got the meaning and that's it. No, you need to know, what is it? Is it a noun? Is it an adjective? So how am I going to use them? Like, these are the things where you really have to be careful. You need to be aware of it. And obviously, we as a member of you know of this, like as me and as a teacher, you can get back to us. You can ask us questions. No issues with that. We can help you out, obviously. um what else? Yeah, so like, I'm just giving you tips how to be, just be never okay, just be connected with the language. Don't stop the language. I mean, don't stop, for example, even don't give don't give yourself a rest for even a day. Okay, if you really want to be good in a language, it because a language does not come in day and night. You need to keep practicing. Practice is the key. I always tell my students that practice is the key. So if you as much you learn, as much you practice, you're gonna you're going to be good, and you will improve yourself. This is the only way. I have told also the students last time that if they want to really be good in the language, they have to watch YouTube videos and movies. I've said that maybe earlier. Yes, I have mentioned this. So I really want you guys to keep practicing. And I know it's sort of difficult because people, like, maybe the environment doesn't help you with that. But yeah, you need to work hard. I believe that lots of students, they come to the academy and they say, okay, fine, we're going to be super good in language now. um, well, this is true. We are there to show you the path. I always tell the students, we are there to show you the path, but at the end, it's your job. You got my point? Like, it's your effort. It's your effort, how much you gain, fine, and how much also you work harder on yourself. So as much you work harder in yourself, it would be helpful. Some people, they travel to a country, and then they get the language from them, like, without even, because okay, they actually adapt the language. I would say they adapt the language. How they adapt the language? Because they are living with those people, so they adapt the language. Okay. But for you guys, I mean, for people who really want to learn a language, they need to learn it. They actually, hats off to them. Why? Because they're learning how to speak. They're obviously they're learning how to speak, obviously. But I'm sure they know what they're saying. You got my point? And why they're saying this. So this is more important, to know what you're saying and why you're saying this. Okay. Like, for example, my language, which is Urdu, I have adapted since I was kid, obviously, since I was like born, let's say. Yeah, sort of, like, when it was like, yeah. But I don't know the grammar. I don't know how to even write sometimes in Urdu. So yeah, it's like, but it's good when you know a language, and you know what does, for example, what is, how to speak and how to write and how to read and so on and so forth. You feel like you feel yourself educated, basically, in a language, obviously. So these are the things. This is the difference between when you adapt a language and when you actually learn the language. Learn it properly and then apply it. That's a different thing. Yeah. So if somebody asks you anything also later on, or maybe when you come to teach your kids, or children, let's say, you'll be knowing how to teach them. You would know. You would have obviously the knowledge how to teach them, or what information shall we give them, according or regarding, let's say, the grammar, reading, and so on and so forth. So yeah, these are my advices. Like, when you learn a language, it's better than you go and adapt it. So yeah, some people, they say grammar is not important. No, grammar is actually important, because speaking with a grammar, with grammar is more professional. Like, it's you speaking the language professionally. But if you are telling me that, no, I'm going to adapt the language, and the is, am, are, and have and has is not really important, then you're, you know, you like you're speaking. Let's say, for me, these are the main factors. Honestly speaking, if you know these elements, then you're doing so good in English. Trust me, and you're so professional. Not really, really professional, but at least you're speaking correctly. Yeah, people ignore these things, but this is not right. You need to speak with a good, let's say, good grammatically way, in a good grammatically way. Yes. Oh yeah, that's it. And I would say that yes, if you have, like, again, if you have any question regarding how to improve your language, is like, we can help you in that, obviously. And if there is any, if you want to suggest us or recommend us, what topics would you like us to talk next time in next session, so you also can share that. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, that's all about today, I guess. I think I have started like this session maybe earlier, or no. Oh, we still have some time. Okay. So yeah, let me give you another tip about English language, because last time, as we mentioned, that we have four skills, right? We need to, let's say, when we come up to talk about, like, any of, for example, language. What is the most important thing in a language? It's What is the most important thing in a language? For me, to take up with these four skills, I mean, follow up with these four skills. It's not right only to focus on one thing and then you leave the other things. Like no, I just want to focus on, let's say, speaking. Okay, you're focusing on one thing, but you're leaving actually the other things which can help you in speaking. Reading is very important because obviously you need to read. It can help you in spelling, right? Spelling the word, even how to write it, and you can also see the sentence, right? You can see the sentence, how you can use this word, for example, in this sentence, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is very important. Like one of you can't we can't leave one and any of these skills. Okay, we need to focus on all these skills basically. Okay, so it's basically reading, yeah, as we've said. And in exams, like not most of the exams, let's say in English exams generally, we always have the comprehension parts, right? In comprehension parts, usually students get really like confused and they don't do well. And most of our kids basically, or let's say students, however like the ages are, um, they they basically get so the lowest mark in comprehension. And what is the reason of that? They have lack of, let's say, they don't practice reading much. That's why. Plus, for they don't read novels. I have seen in schools also, like in government schools, they don't give students novels. So novels, like apart from what you have in reading from the school, the curriculum they give you, always have a book, always have some books of novels. It's not necessary to start from really difficult novels. No, start from very easy ones. At least practice, read. Okay, because reading is very important. Reading gives you spelling, reading gives you words, reading gives you lots of, it makes you how to understand the situation. It is very helpful. So it's not necessary to start with really difficult ones. You can start with very, 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 easy ones, let's say. So this is one of my advices regarding the reading. You can't, people think no, reading is later, like we can do reading later on, no problem. No, reading is also, it comes, these all skills you need to work, you need to work with these skills at the time. Okay, like every time you have to give for reading 5 minutes, let's say. 5 minutes is too much also, like it's not too much obviously, but I mean, like if you give 5 minutes for reading, that's also an achievement. This is what I mean. So yeah, 5 minutes for reading, 5 minutes for, let's say, writing. Writing can make also your obviously what you read. From reading you can have an idea how to write, how to make essays, how to make a report, how to make, maybe tomorrow in your job, like when you have, like, let's say, a good position in a company, how to write an email, like you need to make a formal email, how to make reports. Sometimes they ask you for reports, so how to start with the reports. Like it has obviously like different uh, method or pattern. So you need to learn these things. You need to know, I mean, how these things will come to you by practicing. So you need to practice these things as well, which can help you in your job. How to make a letter, how to write a letter to your friend, how to write a letter to any of your, like a formal letter, let's say. So yeah, what else? So this is, you know, the, let's say, the writing part. So when you're gonna read, you will know the way how can you write. So reading and writing sort of, they are sort of same. Okay, what else? After reading, what comes? Reading, writing. What is the other skill? Speaking, right? Reading, writing, speaking, and okay, reading, writing. I can, oh my god, I can't focus anymore. Okay, well, the next is basically the next skill is basically what is it? Speaking. Yes. So let's come to the speaking part. So in speaking part, how I have just given you I've given you lots of tips how you can just follow up with speaking, and how you can do the pronunciation and stuff. Like obviously, some people they have problem with pronunciation. Um, in Try also to pronounce, or try always to pronounce the word correctly. I tell you how. So here I have noticed in Jordan, let's say, or not in Jordan, like Arab countries, like they have problems in pronouncing the P and B. All right, so be careful, because sometimes the P and B can change the whole meaning, for maybe, it does sometimes. So you need to be careful with these things and try. I know it's not easy, but by practice, by time, it will come up basically. So yeah, these things we need. Maybe these are very, these are not the major things. I mean, not major things, but maybe it would affect later on. So we need to take care of these things as well. The pronunciation is one of the things I would say that it should be correct. But obviously it depends, like what you're learning, or what accent are you going on with. So if it's like British or American, so that's different. I mean, people, British and American, they pronounce things differently. So yeah. Um, so there's, yeah, and yes, one question I would like to ask you guys before we end up with this session. What is the difference between a dialect and an accent? Okay, this is a question for you guys, and I'm gonna tell you definitely what is the difference. Or okay, what shall I tell? Okay, you know what? I want you guys to work a little bit. Like I want you to think about it basically. So I want you guys to answer this question basically. So, what is the difference between the accent and a dialect? Okay. So, if you watch this video and if you know the differences, please comment and write them in this comment. So, I'm definitely going to read it, and I'll tell you if it's correct or no. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you guys next session what's the difference between them. Yeah, so that's all about the skills. We've just uh, we've covered them. Now we're going to talk also about like how to be confident. Okay. Well, when I started learning Arabic, or let's say it was very challenging, because my language, or let's say, yeah, my language is a bit, it's totally different, and especially the accent is not that it's not like we can't pronounce anything, like we can't pronounce all the letters properly. So it was a bit challenging for me. But I used to, because I want to learn, because I really want to learn. I used to say the words fearfully, like I would never feel shamed, or I would never feel like, um, embarrassed at all to pronounce a word. It's just because I want to learn. So when you want to learn something, be confident. Like, see, when it's like, for example, Chinese. I'm just going to give you a very simple example. A Chinese person wants to learn Arabic. Obviously, this person knows nothing about um, Arabic, nothing at all. But at least the person tries. And if you try without hesitation, of course, no one know, like, I am a teacher, I'm an English teacher, but obviously I also learn, I keep learning. Maybe I need a lot of, I should keep learning. It's not like I should say, oh, I'm professional in English and that's it, and sit as if like, okay, I'm done enough with English. No, 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 it's not like that. I learn. I'm, as a teacher, also learn, because we are not natives. So it's okay if you do mistakes. That's normal. Nobody's supposed to laugh, or nobody's supposed to also comment. It's just you're trying. And in fact, as an it's my job. Like, for example, if you're saying something and you're wrong, I should correct you. This is the whole thing. Like, this is what you should expect from others. That's it. Okay, but don't expect that, oh, they might laugh at you. No, 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 they're not. Because if they do, they're like, that's a different matter. But no, usually when you learn a language, because when I used to learn Arabic, um I had to, I had to learn few words just to interact with people, because it's really difficult to communicate here in like in with public or with people here in Jordan in English. So I used to have like keywords, you know, to learn like keywords to use them. For example, when you go to supermarket, at least you know what how to ask like about a price, or how do you ask how much is this, for example, how much is this, or where is that thing, or where is this thing, for example. So these are the things very important, you know. So we need to learn them. So you don't have to hesitate, or you don't have to, you know, feel shy to learn these, at least the basics. So always, if you want to learn a language, you have to be confident. As of all, like I always tell my students, be confident. If you're going to learn a language with a fear, you will never be able to speak up. So you need to be very, you know, wise, and just speak whatever you know. And if you do even mistakes, that's normal, because we are not natives, so it's fine. Okay, but this is how we are going to learn. Okay, so these are the like last words to you guys, or let's say advices. Always I give these advices to my students. And yeah, the question I've asked you, please do answer me next time. And not next time, like in the comments, and I will tell you next time in next session, like what is the proper answer of it. So I hope this session was very useful and you got benefit of it. And thank you very much, guys, and hope to see you next session.